You buy the wrong boots in the wrong size and they're definitely too hard to break in. This is Blake from the Full Boots team, and today we're back at it with another hacks video, and we're going to look at the more unique ways to break in your full boots. Let's go. So this hack is pretty simple. All you need to do is get a thick pair of socks. Potentially your girlfriend or wife has a sock, so grab that, and you need a hairdryer. And so why have I got this thick sock on with my pair of Superfly 360s? When you have very, very hot air going around your foot, it actually swells the foot inside the shoe. So it's actually going to stretch the upper a little. It's definitely going to help in the break-in period, and it's definitely going to soften that upper. So once you're done with the hairdryer, sit for 10 minutes, let it cool down, and let it really mold to your foot, and it actually softens the upper. It's a very, very useful hack for your football boots. Now this next hack is super cool because you don't actually have to wear these boots. This is called the shoe stretcher. So you can buy one for about 10-20 pounds on eBay, and it stretches your football boots. So all you do, as you can see in the snippet, you put it inside the boot and you can stretch the boot widthwise, and you can also stretch it lengthwise as well. So in the snippet, I've stretched the boot widthwise on a very gentle setting. At first, you don't want to stretch the upper too much because the upper will stretch, but the sole plate won't. So the settings need to be very gentle when you're stretching these boots. You can also use a machine stretcher. As you can see in the snippet here, you put your boot inside the stretcher and you turn the cogs, and you can stretch the boots lengthwise as well as widthwise. Now you can stretch the boot up to about half a size in length. So if you bought a boot which is too small in length, you can stretch it by about half a size. And you have to be very careful you don't actually damage the boots. So don't stretch the boots too much. You'll damage the glue and the materials inside the boots. So be very gentle with these settings. Of course, you can actually wear your boots after you've done this, and hopefully they'll stretch a little bit so you can wear them much easier. So you've gone on to footballboots.co.uk and you've bought your new boots. What is the next step? Obviously to break these boots in. And the most effective and easiest way to break boots in is to just wear them. But how can you wear them more than just on the training pitch? Well, you use these things called rubber shoes. Now these slip onto your football shoes so you can wear them in the office, you can wear them at home, and you can actually mold your feet to your shoes much quicker than just on the training pitch. So as you can see here, the Nemesis is tied in with these cleat skins. Now they're called rubber cleat skins, only about 10 to 20 pounds, and you can wear them on hard grounds, you can wear them on concrete, you can wear them in the office. It's the fastest way to break in your football boots without being on the football pitch. You've bought your new boots and they happen to be half a size too small. So what can you do to your boots if you have a game the very next day? Well, in 24 hours, you can do the freezer trick. And this requires water, a freezer, and potentially some Coke as well. Let's go. So the freezer trick has two variations. One is with water and one is with fizzy drinks, say Coke or Sprite. So the first thing is you need a sandwich bag, you pour the water in, and this over time, when you put it in the freezer, will actually expand and it will stretch the upper, much like the other hacks you've seen in this video. It will stretch the upper, and as well as that, you can also grab some Coke, some fizzy drink, and Coke actually expands much more than water does when it's in the freezer. So Coke actually might be more effective than just water, but overnight, once you pull the bag out, the boots will have expanded, especially around that forefoot region, and they potentially will make it easier to play the very next day. This hack is all about the collars, and if you have not worn a collar boot before, then this might be perfect for you. Some collars straight out of the box can be very tight, so all you need for this hack is some fabric softener or hair conditioner, which both work amazingly to soften up those collars. So a spoonful of conditioner or softener in a small bowl with water will work. Now you need to use your fingers for this, and don't use any type of brush as it may be too rough on the collars. Dip your fingers in and then massage that collar very softly, and don't be afraid to get the collar very wet as it will dry out quickly. At the end, wash the collar out under a tap and leave to dry overnight, and once you get back to the boot it should have softened up nicely so it will be easier to put on. So what if you have no money? Well, this is the best value hack in this video. All you need is some newspaper. So the newspaper, you get as much as you can and you fill the boot out right till the very end of the toe. And this will actually expand and stretch the upper and keep its shape longer. So this will definitely help, especially in that initial break-in period with your new football boots. So I've stretched the upper out on this Phantom Vision here. It will really help to sort of structure and keep the shape of the upper, and will stretch the upper a very little bit, not as much as the other hacks you've seen in this video, but it's the easiest and best value hack in this video. Definitely works a treat. So this hack is very easy and it's done by one of my favorite footballers of all time, Bastian Schweinsteiger. And all you need is some water, your boots, and some socks. Let's go. So as you can see on screen, you need to saturate your socks and your boots with water. Why? Because the water will actually soften the inner materials of the boot much quicker, and when you've got wet socks, it will actually mold your feet to the boots much easier as well. Bastian Schweinsteiger did it. It definitely works a treat. So after you've done that, lace the boots up and wear them for about half an hour, and that will definitely loosen the boots up, soften the uppers, and will definitely mold your feet much quicker than when you don't use water. So what do you do if you play too much FIFA, you watch Netflix too much, you're pretty much a couch potato. So how can a couch potato break in their football boots? Well, all you can do is just flex the boots in hand. You can flex the sole plate, you can push down on the upper, you can also stretch the collar, as you can see on screen. You can do this for several different types of brands and boots. It will definitely help with synthetic boots as well as leather, but just be very gentle with the sole plate. You don't want to damage the sole plate too much. You can also push down on that upper as well, just to soften it up slightly, and you can also stretch the collar. I definitely recommend this for stretching the collar, because if you haven't worn a collared boot before and you have to wear a collared boot, it can be very hard to adjust to, so you can stretch the collar, make it very easy to put on. But as I said before, you need to be very light with this. You don't want to damage the sole plate too much, so be very gentle when you're stretching the boots with your hands, especially on the sole plate. The upper will be fine and the collar will work as well. So in this hack, we've got two videos which can help. We've got Ian walking into a store and getting the right size. This is all about getting the right size. He goes into Ultra Football, he chooses the right boot and the right size. You can watch the video now if you haven't seen it. And the second video is all about getting the right size, how to actually size your feet. You can watch that video now. We've got the link in the card now, so click on that. And this is all about getting the right size. Adidas, Nike, Puma, Under Armour, Umbro, they all have very different sizes. A 9UK in Adidas will be different from a 9UK in Nike. So make sure you get the right size, go into a store, measure your feet, and that will definitely help the initial break-in period. So this hack is a big no-no for leather football boots, so do not do this on a leather football boot. This is all about synthetic uppers and softening the uppers. This is called the hot water trick, made famous by Cristiano Ronaldo. He definitely did this on his earlier football boots. Some of the early Vapors and Superflies he wore were very stiff. Now this is all about softening the uppers. There's two variations. One is in hand, as you can see on screen. We've got these Superfly 5 cut to brilliance. We can run a hot tap on the upper and it will definitely soften that upper there, especially works well on Flyknit and synthetic uppers. You can also use it on feet as well. As you can see there, we're doing this on the Vapor 11. Hot water in a tub and pour it on top as well. It will definitely soften the upper and help you out in the initial break-in period. So if you can't do the hot water trick on your leather football boots, what can you do to these leather uppers? We can get a bit of dubbin or leather cream. You can see it on screen now. We've got a bit of leather cream, applying it to our Mizuno boots. It can also work on the Copper 18.1, Tempo Legend 7, anything with a leather upper. And all it's going to do is provide a waterproof coating on that leather upper there. It's going to work really well to enhance the durability of your leather football boots. So you've invested in a boot which has a collar. Collars are actually very hard to get used to. If you haven't worn a collared boot before, it can be a big change from a standard low-cut design. All you need for this hack is what we call a shoehorn. Now a shoehorn is given by Adidas. You can also buy them on eBay as well. It makes putting collared boots on especially much easier. As you can see on the snippet, you can use it for several collared boots from Concave. You can use Nike, Adidas, Puma, Under Armour, any boot which has a collar. Definitely invest in a shoehorn. So that is it with our new boot break-in hacks video. If you've liked some of these hacks, give us a thumbs up. If you don't like some of these hacks, give it a thumbs down. We want your opinions, put it in the comment section below. And hopefully we've given you some ideas on what you can try at home to break in your football boots much easier, or if your boots are too small and you need some more space. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, we'll see you next time.